I don't object to dating someone who's successful or who makes money.
Okay. But what's the end to your dating? What's the point? Like, why are you, is the reason you're dating now just for, casual dating, or is it because you're looking for that lifelong partner? And going back,
I value long-term relationships. I'm not interested in one-night stands or fucking someone once or twice and never talking to them again. I've always valued having a continuity with the women I choose to date.
Monogamy.
So what's that?
Monogamy. Being monogamous.
Well, monogamy, but also I don't want to just. It doesn't interest me to just fuck a bunch of chicks once. That's pointless to me. It's not fulfilling. It's a waste of time, and it's just.
Yeah, it isn't fulfilling. So what do you have to say about him? I wouldn't pay for a date because this woman is
I assume she disagrees, but.
No, I mean, it's not about me disagreeing. Like, honestly, I think Brian is just trying to smash. And if you're just trying to smash. No, like, it's fine. You're 33 and you're single and you make a lot of money, like, hello, millions of subscribers, right? Just trying to get some. Like, it's cool. Brian isn't trying to get married. It's okay. You don't want to pay for the first date. You're trying to get some nookie, you're able to do this. You know what I mean? It's okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not just trying to have a one-night stand with a girl. That doesn't interest me.
Well, so, like, here's my thing. You want this, you said that you want, like, an LTR, right? What do you want? Because, like, your results in dating, like, the goal, you have to determine what your goal is, right? Mm-hmm. So for, like, some men, their goal in dating, which I morally disagree with, but I'm not here to argue morality. Like, some guys' goal in dating is to just be able to have variety and to get some occasionally. They're not necessarily trying to settle down. And then there's other men who want to have a wife and children. Mm-hmm. That's different, So, like, I can't tell you what I think about your metric in dating. It's like, is it working or not? You know what I mean? Like, that's what, you're right. Like, he's probably not looking for a wife. Okay, that's his right and his prerogative to not be looking for a wife.
Well, marriage is an L, so I mean, I can't. I am looking for a long-term partner. Mm-hmm. But marriage is just, can't do it.
I tried it. I would try it again with the right person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
Allie, how do you feel about dating someone for 10 years? Because I'm just curious to hear what you have to say about this, because I know people that are like, if he has not asked you to marry him after 3 years, he's not gonna, like, he doesn't see you as a wife. You're just a placeholder. So that's probably true. Marriage right now sits at a rate of 6 per 1,000 people. They didn't include age. This is like CDC data. So I think it's just like the number of people, right? So marriage is the lowest it's ever been in recorded history. Yeah. So in terms of, like, what I think about it, I think that you do modern dating practices, you get modern dating results, and, like, it doesn't seem like men or women are really happy with that. At the same time, are people willing to compromise and pursue traditional values and conventional values? Because liberal women used to be normal in the 90s. I don't know what happened. Things have changed. So it's like, what normally happens is you have the same likelihood to break up as you do to divorce, like, per the data, right? Okay.
And so if that's true, then yeah, you do have the likelihood to separate that's equal. On top of that, what people are doing now is they're cohabitating longer, right? So they're delaying marriage.
Don't do that.
Cohabitate for several years.
Oh, and we're against that.
Well,
don't cohabitate, guys.
Well, his argument's different. So, like, when we're looking at what people are doing and the results that they're getting, cohabitation is longer, and maybe you'll get married if you're one of the 6 per 1,000. So if you are with that man and you're cohabitating for several years, it's very, very statistically unlikely that he's going to marry you, just by the numbers. So I do agree with that. Like, if you're looking for marriage and this man's been with you like 10 years, he's probably not going to marry you. If it happens, amazing. You're an exception to the rule. But that's just what's happening right now.
Okay, so I have a theoretical for you. I meet a guy tomorrow. He's the most amazing thing ever. I love him so much. But I'm 18. I do not want to get married super young. My parents are divorced, and both of their spouses have been divorced, and divorce is awful and the worst thing ever. I would like to be sure that I want to be with this person before I put a ring on it and become, I think that, as if I'm in a long-term relationship with somebody, I will be acting as I would be, as committed to them as I would in our marriage. But I think that, dating someone for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, like, I think that it's a good thing.
Yeah, but then you're not a traditional woman.
Okay.
Right? Do you see like the compromise with that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it seems like there's some things that you want with modern dating and there's some things that you want with traditional dating, and that is typically going to conflict in one way, shape, or form, right? So like, if you're going to be cohabitating, it's very likely that you're having premarital sex. That's another indicator that you're not traditional, and it's okay if you aren't. Like, I didn't have the most traditional setup that allowed me to get married, you know, but I was able to swing a marriage, but every single statistic was against me. I'm the exception to the rule. I would never recommend for women to do what I did. What you're saying is what people are doing. My thing is like, is it working? Because if marriage is 6 per 1,000 and a lot of women probably want to get married, then I don't think that it's working. But I also think that women we're more agreeable than men on average. Do you guys know that? Okay, so like, I think we just suck at negotiating and being like, hey, I would like to get married. We just don't have that conversation. You know what I mean? Because we want to keep that guy when we could have that conversation. But are we prepared to walk if he says, no, I don't want to get married? Do you see? Like, these are just different things that you have to, like, I guess, consider. 'Cause I try my very best not to argue too subjectively, and I try to give you guys like objective data and stats. So like, this modern dating is I think the sexual revolution did not help us, is my point.
Gentlemen, don't get married. Never sign a contract with someone who is rewarded for breaking it. Don't sign contracts that don't benefit you.
Right. We should probably, I mean, it's another thing. So when we're talking about like security in marriage, we have it as women. Just so you guys know, the family courts are greatly in our favor. We file most divorces, we get more cases of alimony, and we get more cases of child support. So like, a lot of the fear that we get, like, you need to be really, really sure that this is the guy, because what if you end up homeless and on the street? It's very unlikely that that's going to occur.
Absolutely.
So that fear for women is made up. That fear for men, that is true.
My
like,
fear
you
is,
really can steal half your stuff.
My fear is for my children.
Yeah.
And I think that growing up in a single family household, or I apologize, single parent household, even if they're divorced, is incredibly damaging. And, you know, I don't know. Oh, actually, I do know. So I think that we can all agree having divorced parents is not a good thing for a person growing up.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it puts your kid at every statistical disadvantage, like wildly so. Right?
Yeah.
So it just means that we need to try harder if we're going to be in long-term relationships for the rest of our lives, which means that, like, women are going to have to doing some more work. And that's the thing, like, women don't understand how much autonomy they have over the quality of their relationship. You know, like, we expect the man to fix it, and it's like, well, what if you just like took a, you know, week or two just changing something about yourself and seeing how that goes, right? Because other thing too, personality differences on average between men and women. We're higher in neuroses than men. Do you guys understand that? Okay, so like, that's another thing. We tend to be a little bit more dissatisfied in general. Even the statistics between virgin husbands and virgin brides, the virgin husbands report being happier in their marriage than the virgin brides, right?
Wow.
So we're just a little bit more unhappy. And that's why that you'll see, I mean, I don't know what other dating podcasts, like, what their goal is, but that's like the message that I preach on, like, my side of things, is like, we as women need to take charge in the femininity department, and we can totally do it. And these traditional things that we say are like old school, they work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they're not going to work for most men. I think marriage sucks for most men who get married.
Okay, guys, get your last minute super chats in here before we wrap up the show. Probably going to try to wrap in about 10-15 minutes. So guys, get your last super chats and donations in if you want to. All right, so we do have a video to react to. Eric